All right, everybody, it looks like Kobold Press has just dropped Playtest Packet 2 for Project Black Flag. They got a blog post up over at their website. It says, thanks to everyone who signed up for Project Black Flag playtesting. Your feedback from Playtest Packet 1 was invaluable, and we're back with a bigger packet this time with some new ideas we want your input on. Everyone has signed up for the playtest form has already sent downloads and playtest feedback links via email. If you sign up, check your inbox and spam folder. Did you miss a sign up, etc., etc., etc. Playtest Packet 2 is Magic, the Luck System, and the Fighter and Wizard classes. And it says you have until noon Pacific time on, midnight. Yeah, 11:59 Pacific time on Monday, April 3rd to share your insights and feedback. Playtest feedback for Magic, Luck, and classes will close on April 3rd, so we can begin sorting through your comments, etc., etc., etc. So I've got the PDF here. We're going to break it down, go through it a little bit here, read a little bit about what we got available to us. So for those of you who are interested in what Black Flag is all about and what Kobold Press is producing here with their 5th edition sort of it's a 5th edition hybrid, it's the evolution of the 5th edition that they've been working on. I might not understand all of this as we read through, but I am going to give it a shot as we go through today. Obviously, if you want more information about this, we're going to have links down in the description text below so you can go download things at your leisure and look through it and get involved with the playtesting on your own. Previously, I had covered the first playtest and was kind of underwhelmed because I was like, it's just kind of like more 5th edition. So I'm kind of interested to see what we've got going on here with this one. So anyway, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Let's dive in to this. It says here, this document contains the character class rules for the second Core Fantasy rules set for the Core Fantasy Roleplaying Playtest Packet. Copyright to the Open Design LLC. Thanks for your interest in playing this. This is a backward compatible. Core Fantasy Roleplaying is backward compatible with 5th edition. It can be used in conjunction with existing 5th edition material. Here are the combinations of 5e material and Core Fantasy Roleplaying material that is used for this packet. The luck mechanic should not be used in conjunction with the 5th edition inspiration mechanic. Use one or the other. So that means that luck is very similar to the inspiration mechanic. Okay, we'll read through that here in a minute. For the purpose of this playtest, please use a Core Fantasy Roleplaying base class and a Core Fantasy Roleplaying subclass combo. The rules will contain a full conversion details to make any 5th edition subclass compatible, but this is beyond the scope of this packet. You can use a Core Fantasy Roleplaying base class and subclass combo in conjunction with backgrounds from the 1st edition playtest or any 5e background. You can also use Core Fantasy Roleplaying base class and subclass combo in conjunction with any of the Core Fantasy Roleplaying Lineage Heritage combos from Playtest Packet 1 or any 5th edition race subrace combo. For the purposes of this playtest, please use the Core Fantasy Talents published in Playtest Packet 1, and in this packet do not substitute 5th edition feats. The Core Fantasy Roleplaying rules will contain a full conversion details to make any 5th edition feat into a Core Fantasy Roleplaying talent, but that is beyond the scope of this packet, so they're giving us a little bit of some boundaries for this one. Luck. Every PC has a special resource called Luck, which can be used to influence the result of any ability check, ability, attack roll, or save you make. A player character with luck points can spend them as a 1-for-1 bonus to any d20 roll they make. For example, if you have 4 luck points and roll a 13 on the die, you could choose to spend 2 luck points, reducing your total luck points to 2 and make your roll result of 15. You can choose to spend your luck points in this way after you make a roll, but before the GM declares whether the roll succeeded or failed. Luck points can't be sent in this way to offset the effects of rolling a natural 1, and they can't be used to create the effects of a natural 20. So I'm not sure. With inspiration, I chose not to use inspiration in the 5th edition that I was running last year. But I know playing Baldur's Gate 3, inspiration allows you to re-roll after you've failed on a roll. You can choose to re-roll if you have inspiration saved up. This is saying that you actually have to choose whether or not you're going to use the modifier before the GM declares whether the roll succeeded or failed, which sounds a little bit different than inspiration. Also, you're being allowed to spend your luck points as you choose. So, interesting. Alternatively, it says immediately after you make an attack roll, ability check, or save, you can spend 3 luck points to re-roll a d20 used for that roll. Again, you can choose to spend luck points in this way after you make a roll, but you have to do it before the GM declares whether the roll succeeded or failed. That makes no sense. Like, the whole point, at least as far as I understand it, maybe somebody out there who's more intimately knowledgeable about 5th edition can explain this to me, because I'm familiar with inspiration from Baldur's Gate 3, and it's very much used once you know that you've failed. If you succeed, you're fine, but if you fail, that's when you get the chance to use the inspiration. So this is saying that luck is something you have to choose to attach to your roll before you know whether or not something has succeeded or failed. Okay. How do you gain luck points? It says when you first create your character, you start with 0 luck points, and over the course of your adventures, you gain luck in the following ways. Once per turn, when you fail an attack roll, you gain 1 luck point. The GM can choose to award a luck point to a character as a reward for coming up with a clever idea, so that's going to be at the GM's discretion. Also, for role playing stuff or pursuing an interesting rather than optimal choice, they can also be awarded to a party for surviving difficult encounters. So it's largely going to be up to the GM, other than every time you fail an attack roll or save, you're going to gain a luck point. A PC can only have a maximum of 5 luck points at any given time, so there is a cap on it. If you would gain a 6th point, you must immediately roll a d4 and reset the luck points to the die result. Player character wisdom. The cap on luck points is meant to encourage players to regularly spend their luck instead of hoarding it. Make sure to use it often so you don't risk losing it. You must take risks regularly to make your own luck. Then it says behind the curtain, if possible, make sure to actually give this system a try at your game table before providing playtest feedback. We had several internal playtesters who thought this system looked too clunky and difficult to manage on paper, but found it very fast-paced and easy to use once they actually got a chance to play with it. We're eager to hear if you end up having the same experience we had. The luck system is intended to completely replace the inspiration mechanic. One of our roles with the luck system is to add a fail-forward reward component to minimizing the sting of a failure, particularly in combat, because there's nothing worse than feeling like your turn is wasted due to a string of bad rolls. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. Elements of a class. As you advance in levels, you generally become better at what you're trained to do, a concept that is abstracted by the PBE known as the proficiency bonus, which advances at the same rate as for every class. It is included in each progression table. Whenever you make a d20 roll that involves a weapon, skill, tool, or save that you have proficiency in, you get to add your proficiency bonus to that roll. Occasionally, features might allow you to double your proficiency bonus. Okay. Okay. Proficiency bonuses sound kind of cool. That does sound pretty cool. Class options at a glance. Fighters, I mean, this is standard stuff. Spellblade discipline. Okay. Stunts. Arcing strike, hobbling strike. Okay, there's some interesting abilities here. And wizard. Dun, dun, dun. Wizard quick builds, equipment, arcane spell casting, cantrips we're familiar with. Your spellbook is your repository. Ritual casting, that's similar to 5th edition as well. Spellbook. When you find an arcane circle spell of the first ring or higher, you can add to your spellbook. You can copy a spell from your own spellbook to another book if you want to make a backup copy of your spellbook. That's kind of like in Pillars of Eternity. You could have grimoires, right? And each grimoire had its own set of. So you could have one grimoire that was set up for like damage with fire and ice. You could have another grimoire that was like all of your debuff spells. You could have another one that was like all of your necromancy spells. It sounds like you could do something similar here with spell books. It says many wizards keep backup spell books in a safe place. Okay. It says player advice: the ability to find spells in the world and copy them in your spellbook is one of the most unique elements of the wizard-based class. So make sure to keep your eye out for spell books and spell scrolls. Ask your GM about creating more opportunities to expand your spell repertoire. Cool stuff. Arcane traditions. Then there's the Battle Mage. Battle Mage features. Talents. Talents represent specific ways that adventurers improve in the course of their adventures. Magic talents, so on and so forth. Material talents. Then we have circles of magic, arcane, divine, weird, primordial, sorry. Spell rings from 1st to 9th. Schools of magic, those are things I'm familiar with. Casting and armor, because of the mental focus and precise gestures, you must be proficient with the armor you're wearing to cast a spell. Ooh. Combining magical effects. The effects of different spells add together while the durations of the spells overlap. The effects of those same spells cast multiple times don't combine, however. Instead, the most potent effect, which is the highest bonus from those casting, applies while their durations overlap. For example, if 2 wizards cast Mage Arm on the same target, the target gains the spell benefit only once. They don't get multiple bonuses of their AC. That's important, because that means, like, if, but also in damage. Like, if we both cast a damage over time, it's going to be the highest one that's applied. The other one's not going to affect it as long as those effects are both ticking at the same time. This is a much beefier playtest packet than the first one, so. All right. Well, for those of you who are interested in Black Flag, this is out now, so don't forget to check this out. Love to hear your thoughts on it. Drop them down in the comments below. If you like the news that I'm providing and I'm covering here on my channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. And if you can support, please do so. Drop a super chat on this video if you're on a Premiere live stream. Drop a super thanks after the fact. You can do whatever you want, plug in whatever number you want, $5, $10, $25. You can also use the pre-programmed amounts here on YouTube. There's 3 tiers of memberships if you want to dive in that way. $3 a month, $10 a month, I think $15 a month. And then we also have the Patreon page if you want to get a copy of our tabletop source book and all of the adventure modules that do in map packs, the book series, and everything else. As an example, I'm going to turn this over, and she hates it when I do this, but Chris is working on artwork right now. If you guys can see that image, you probably can't. Won't focus on it. But like all sorts of fun stuff happens over at our Patreon page. So hopefully you'll check that stuff out as well. In the meantime, everybody stay safe. Till next time, have fun.